Hey everyone, Unlink here, and welcome to the bonus episode for Okami. Last time, we finally finished off the game. We defeated Yami, the ruler of the Land of Darkness, and freed the Land of Mortals and, hopefully, the Celestial Plane from evil. Today is the bonus episode. We'll be taking a look at anything that I have not yet shown in the Let's Play. From things that I missed or forgot to do in the main playthrough, to things that unlock for beating the game, such as those presents from Isun that we got. As well as taking a brief look at New Game Plus, just a brief one. To start off, I'm going to be loading up my save from just before the Arc of Yamato, and we're going to go check out one thing that I missed. I missed one single source of praise, and we're going to go find it. The single source of praise that we missed is here in Seon City, but as we go to look for it, you may notice that it's rather dark out. The sun is out as well. This is daytime. I actually forget if I pointed this out. I probably did. I honestly probably did. I recorded the side questing episode just before the Arc of Yamato, like a month ago at this point. But yeah, with the Day of Darkness overhead, we have no sunlight. It is night all the time. Well, it's day right now, but it looks like night almost. Anyways, do you remember this man? We actually helped him out a while ago, and we got some rewards. We got some praise out of him for helping him. As well as, I believe, it was part of the thief side quest, the Great Thief, who was running around Seon City, stealing people's stuff. This is the guy we got the comb back for, because he was going to use it to propose. I did it! I did it! Guess what, pup? I've been working real hard with not much time for anything else. And then Kiku came along and told me she loved me. That's obviously the way to do it. A man has to just go his own way and let the ladies come to him. Yeah, if you check in with him, sometime after you give him his stolen item, his stolen comb, you get another 50 praise. I don't know if that hairpin had anything to do with it. Oh, hairpin, not comb. Well, silly me. Maybe it's more of a matter of all things come to those who wait. Anyway, that's one less thing we need to worry about now, Ami. Absolutely. And that is the last source of praise in the game. The maximum amount of praise you can have after upgrading everything is 1,204 praise. I have not found any other sources of praise, and I have not found anyone else who's found any more sources of praise. So I think that's all of it. With that, that is everything we missed in the main playthrough, so let's head back to the title screen and check out those presents from Isun. So as we return to the title screen, I do have some sad news. The seal that I drew with Mrs. Seal. Unfortunately, we never actually saw that. The seal was never shown in the Let's Play, which is highly unfortunate because it was supposed to get shown. So, I didn't know this until it was too late. But the seal is useless on every single version of Okami other than the original PlayStation 2 release. I'm not playing the PlayStation 2 version. My copy got stolen. Which is unfortunate, but that's an issue for another time. But yeah, the seal that you draw with Mrs. Seal in Pongton. What's supposed to happen with that is it's supposed to appear at the very end of the credits sequence. That doesn't happen on any version other than the PS2 version. So, my seal was completely unshown, and I'm very sorry about that, but I didn't know that it wasn't shown in the credits in other versions of the game until after I had already cleared out the footage from that episode where I drew the seal. So, I don't have anything to any way to show you the seal that I drew. I believe I was originally going to draw a sun seal, like a sun-shaped circle with 6 wavy lines coming off of it to represent solar rays. But I believe I ended up going with a specific Japanese symbol instead, a specific kana. I want to say it was just the lettering for the game's Japanese title, Okami. I want to say that's what it was, but unfortunately, I've lost the footage, and that was a while ago, so I don't quite recall exactly what I drew, which really, really sucks. I would not have done the Mrs. Seal stuff the way I did, with hiding it and trying to be coy and clever, if I had known that the seal wasn't gonna get shown. That is entirely my fault. I'm so sorry. With the apologies out of the way, we have a lot of stuff here in the Presents from Me Soon. We've got concept art for basically everything. From characters, to weapons, to bosses, to enemies, to even our brush techniques and the gods. We've got characters, we've got monsters, every single monster, including I think a few beta monsters that may have been removed. Let me check. Those would be towards the front, I think. Yeah, there's a few early enemy proposals and ideas near the front. We also have the various environments and regions of the game. And finally, we have a high-resolution version of the entire bestiary. That entire scroll in the background when you're looking at the bestiary that shows every single enemy in this really, really cool art style. You get to see that in full high resolution in here. I'm not going to be scrolling through all of these right now. Think of it as motivation to play the game yourself and unlock this yourself so you can take a look. There's a lot of really cool stuff in here. I believe there are a couple things that I do want to show, but the vast bulk of the concept art I'm gonna leave for you to take a look at yourself. That being said, there is a manga at the back of the enemies page. Unfortunately, I cannot read Japanese, so we'll just do a quick scroll through to take a look. Oh, I see. This looks to be the actual storyboards for meeting up with the Spider Queen for when you first meet her and, you know, go to fight with her in Tsuta Ruins. I love Ami dissing her by just taking a nap. It's great. And then we've got a little bit of the brush god, specifically Bakugami? Gosh, I hope I remember the name correctly. And Kazegami. Wait, no. Shoot. Kasugami? Was it Kasu or Kazegami was the god of wind, of Galestorm. I think this is Kasugami. Alright, and that is the manga. Let's see, is there anything else like that at the back of this one? No. There is one thing I want to show here, though. I specifically want to show. This is the concept art for the Arc of Yamato. How it was originally going to be. And you can see there, as I said in the Let's Play, there was originally a door for Lechku and Nechku. I said it was between Ninetales and Crimson Helm, but apparently I was wrong. It actually replaces Crimson Helm in this. Where is Crimson Helm? Does the Crimson Helm just not have a door? Interesting. But yeah, I'm fairly sure that the reason they swapped out Lich Q and Nech Q for Crimson Helm is because you had just fought them. Like, you fight Lich Q and Nech Q, and the very next thing you do in the story is board the Ark of Yamato. It would have been like 0 time between fighting them once and fighting them again. So it's understandable that they took out the boss fight for Lich Q and Nech Q from the Ark of Yamato. But I'm kind of sad about it. I wish we had gotten to fight them as well. And then, really cool concept art of the final boss. Oh, and don't forget the Lunar Runes. Orochi, Spider Queen, Yami, Ninetales, Crimson Helm, and Blight. And we won't be taking a look at anything in the high-resolution bestiary. For reasons. There's I'm actually saving the bestiary for something else. We'll take a look at it soon. Next up, we have a full sound test. We can see every bit of music in the game organized by when it first plays. Specifically divided into 14 sections, comprising the plot of the game. And each section will have songs that you heard for the first point in that area. Notably, there's also variations of songs. We've got Kusa Village 1 and Kusa Village 2, with version 1 being played when it's still cursed and version 2 being played when it's restored. But yeah, any sound, any music you want to listen to from throughout the game, this is the place to take a look. Next up, we have a couple of videos, internal company presentations, that were used for either pitching the game or showing its progress throughout its development. And we're going to start with internal company presentation A, which is from very, very early in development, from what I can tell, and was probably used to pitch the game to higher-ups. So yeah, main thing to take away from that is this game originally had a very, very different art style with a far more realistic focus. It kind of reminds me of Shadow of the Colossus, and I'm gonna be honest, it reminds me of Shadow of the Colossus in a bad way. Just its PS2 era realistic graphics were infamously muddy and have not aged very well. So I am so glad that they switched over to the highly stylized art that they use in the final game. Because as pretty as that is, I don't think it would have been nearly as enjoyable as what we have now. The other presentation comes from a little bit later in development. Honestly, I'm very curious what the plot of the game was originally going to be. There is probably details of it somewhere online, but I haven't bothered to look yet. I'm probably going to do that at some point for my own curiosity. But internal company presentation B almost implies a very different plot from what we got, with instead of demons and monsters sent out by the big bads, by Orochi, by Yami, by Lechku and Nechku, by Ninetales. Instead we have what appear to be corrupted animals, which I'm very curious how that would have tied into the plot, because the fact that it's corrupted animals instead of like demons that are part of an army that have been sent out, that implies like a strong like possibly an even stronger restoration of nature theme than we got in the final game, and I'm very curious what that would have been like or what the plan was. Anyways, the last thing in Presents from Isun is the Demon Gallery scroll, which is basically this stitched into one scroll. And you can just go through the whole thing. You get to see the entire demon scroll all stitched together as it appears in the background of the bestiary. But we won't be doing that. I'm going to be saving that for something. So Presents from Isun. I just wanted to give a quick overview of what we got in there. Lots of cool stuff, videos, music, concept art, everything you love. But there is one final thing I want to do for this bonus episode, and that is do a brief look at New Game Plus. And as I said before, if you want to go ahead and take a look at all the concept art for yourself, listen to all the music, I highly encourage you to get this game and play it on your own time to unlock that. It is very worth it, I feel, because I love that kind of stuff. But we just simply do not have the time to go through all of it right now. That's a lot. Anyways, New Game Plus. We're gonna go ahead and start out by opening up our menu and checking out what carries over in New Game Plus from our previous playthrough. First off, you will notice all of our upgrades to our Divine Attributes have carried over. We have full Solar Energy, full Ink, full Astral Pouch, full Wallet. Our money carries over as well. And the praise we gathered carries over as well, so that's lovely. But you'll notice we only have 15 Solar Energy, not the full 20. Our Divine Attributes carried over, but the Solar Fragments, the 15 Solar Fragments, did not. You will have to find those again to get back to full max health. So a lot of stuff carries over. Very nice. You can go into the game being very powerful. And I'm not kidding, because all of your items carry over. Our 14 golden peaches, which we never use, which I love. And all of our weapons, except for the 3 ultimate elemental weapons, have carried over as well. So you can use whatever weapon you like from the start of the game, except for the elemental weapons. Additionally, all of our little trinkets that we picked up have carried over as well. Well, most of them. The Peace Bell, the Golden Lucky Cat, the Wood Mat, and the Golden Ink Pot. All the artifacts that you bought with Demon Fangs carry over. Except for the Fire Tablet and the Water Tablet, which unlocked with story progress. But there's a new artifact that appears here as well. For getting every single stray bead in the game, all 100, we get the String of Beads. The String of Beads is wonderful. It's basically easy mode. Your ink pots become infinite. Your energy becomes infinite. You cannot die, you cannot run out of ink, and your attack power is times 10. So, let's go ahead and go test this out. Just gonna rush through real quick, get ourselves to our first fight against demons, and we will test out the strength of our string of beads, plus our, oh gosh, what was the original weapon called? It's been so long. The Divine Retribution. I kept wanting to say Solar Flare because that's Ami's, like, definitive weapon. But no, I was wrong. It's the Divine Retribution. Forgive me, it has been a long time since we used it. Anyways, I will meet you once we have reached our first fight against demons. Exiting the Cave of Nagi, I just got Power Slash and our first fight against imps. Our last fight against imps. My god! This is just the Divine Retribution with the stray beads, with the string of beads on. And I guess it does also have the gold dust applied still. But still, that is... yeah, you're gonna cruise through the game with the string of beads on. It's very lovely. I also want to point out, heading over to where the first stray bead in the game is, well, the chest is already open since we collected it in the previous playthrough. But yeah, that's awesome. String of beads is going to make this game so much easier. You can just cruise through and enjoy the story. Let's go ahead and take a look at what else carries over into New Game Plus. Obviously, none of your abilities carry over since those have a significant impact on the plot. You have to get your brush techniques back all over again, but that's okay. Our travel guide carries over completely. Our bestiary carries over completely, and in fact, we have a few new entries. And a little marker down there to say that it is full. We have met every enemy in the game. Yami. This horrifying entity has also been called Empty Death. It seeks complete destruction. For eons, it has been locked in a struggle with the Sun God. This fight has been described thusly. Yami's destruction was countered by the Sun God's rejuvenation. Next, Yami again. Round, cold, and desolate as the moon, Yami has never been depicted as a human or animal in any drawing. It is simply too inorganic in appearance to warrant such portrayals. Yami took on a ring form when attacked, rendering blows useless. The beast was bathed in moonlight, the light acting as a blade. Next, Phase 3 Yami. In most legends, gods are portrayed as good or evil, as representations of specific animals. This is not in the case of the dreaded Yami. Yami belched fire and ice, but the god deflected the onslaught. The beast attacked violently, with speed and unpredictability. Only by slowing the flow of time could the sun god defend itself. Yami Phase 4. Its inorganic nature resembles machinery, leading one gadgetry expert to speculate that it is the likely source of all machines. When the god attacked with thunder, the machine coughed forth a seed. When the beast drew it back in, the god knew it must be the core. The beast tried to seal away its core with an icy blast. And Yami's final phase. In all these tales, there is no record of a decisive victor. Has no one emerged victorious, or was the event simply not recorded? As the darkness tries to cover all, forget not the warmth of purifying light. Prayer is power, power is prayer. And that's our complete bestiary. Every single enemy in the game has been met, fought, and documented. In our move list, it appears that the vast majority of our moves carry over, but not all. Namely, weapon upgrades carry over, our dodge doesn't, but our counter dodge does. Our double jump doesn't carry over, but Holy Falcon does. And I forget what these two are, but most of our abilities do carry over into New Game Plus. Which is good. Unfortunately, I do not believe Power Slash 2, Power Slash 3, or Cherry Bomb 2 or 3 carryover. I believe those upgrades need to be unlocked again. In the Animal Tome, well, we have all the animal entries, we have all of them completely undone. We need to find and feed all of the animals once again if we wish to do that. The Fish Tome, similarly, empty, except for the ones that we kept in our inventory, of course. But at least the entries are all filled in, so we can see all of our lovely fish. Treasure Tome is still filled in. Of course, we kept many of the treasures, so those are still in our inventory. And finally, the Stray Beads. The 99 Stray Beads for playing the game, and 1 Stray Bead for clearing the Ark of Yamato and defeating Yami. And I believe that's all of the stuff for what carries over and what doesn't. Oh wow, hang on, Ami, are you floating? Ami's floating off the ground a little bit. I don't know how I feel about that. The final thing we can do is for beating the game, we unlocked 9 Karmic Transformers and the Karmic Returner. Let's go over what these do. Using Karmic Transformer 1, Ami changes her shape. Using Transformer 2, she's a big doggo. Oh, she's big. I love her. So yeah, the Karmic Transformers change out Ami's model. A good chunk of them will show just alternate variations of Ami. Number 3 shows Ami with no ink, with no celestial powers, as just a plain white wolf, as the people of Nippon will see her if they don't believe in her. Karmic Transformer 4, as well as several others, will change her into the models for the various canine warriors. This includes Karmic Transformers 4, 5, and 6. So now you can play Ami in Canine Warrior form. Next up, Karmic Transformer 7 gives you her fully awakened form with the new paint marks on her face. At her full strength, lacking the tendrils that emerge from her back, the tendrils of light, but for the most part being in her fully awakened form. Transformer 8 turns her to stone, like she was at the very beginning of the game, before Sakuya reawakened her. And finally, number 9 turns you into the realistic wolf from the internal company presentation A. It puts her back in the original art style, which is very cool. I'm very glad that they kept, at least kept a reference to that in the form of Karmic Transformer 9. And of course, you may have guessed, but Karmic Returner turns you back to regular Ami. So yeah, you can play through the game in a lot of interesting ways. You can change up how Ami looks. You can be completely overpowered and broken. It's fantastic. I kind of want to do a New Game Plus playthrough at some point, but that'll be on my own time. I think it's very cool, all the little bonuses they give you. Now, with that, we have come to the end of the Let's Play. All that remains is next time we'll be having a post-mortem where I talk about how the Let's Play went, how I felt about it, how I feel about it, and what I learned going forward for future Let's Plays. I would like to give a huge thanks to a lot of resources and people that helped me throughout the production of this Let's Play. The Okami Wiki on fandom, fantastic resource, very good resource for finding like weapon strengths. That's where I got all my weapon strengths for the weapon infographics. Good for verifying, like, what side quests I can do, and just various miscellaneous information. On GameFAQs, I used several guides to help me out because this is a big game. Metadots, for their 100% guide, was my primary resource for finding what I can do at each point. They did things in a bit of a different order from how I did it. I didn't like their order too much, but I did extensively reference Matadot's guide for making sure that I was able to complete everything in the game. CJ800 on GameFAQs has a Clover guide, which helped me verify that I got every single Clover in the game. I did, of course, independently verify with other guides such as Matadot's to see if any were missing, because there are so many and there's not really a completion reward for finding them all. I believe we found every Clover in the game. I believe CJ800's guide has every Clover in the game. Because I didn't find any extras that weren't listed. But unfortunately, it's really hard. I can't verify that without either digging into the game's code or without the fact, given the fact that there's no completion reward for finding all the Clovers, can't really know if we got them all. Oh well. At the very least, we got more than enough. Laguna on GameFAQs made maps of where all the wanted monsters are at for the 4 wanted monster quests. Very handy in making sure that went by relatively smoothly. I would like to thank my friend Dakariel for helping with various aspects of the Let's Play, being someone to talk to about the game, encouraging me, and just being an awesome friend. And then I want to thank all of my friends who contributed voices, ideas, previewed videos, and gave feedback. So that would be Dakariel, Tactician Geek, Scrumbungus, Whisker Biscuit, and Burb. Thanks to all of you for helping make this Let's Play what it is, and thank all of you for contributing your voices for Orochi. That was really fun to do. And I wish I had done it in episode 1, but I think saving it for that fight against Orochi at the end of the first act was that was really fun. Just saving that for then. I think that came out way better than it had any right to, and it's so good. Just the pure chaos of 8 voices speaking at once. I did try my best to make sure that those voices were, like, you could hear what was being said, while also making sure that the pure chaos of Orochi came through. But yeah, that's it for Okami. We're done. It's finally over. Fantastic game. I really recommend you pick it up yourself. It's very much worth it. It's so much fun to play. And also, you really should support game developers where you can. Clover Studios did a fantastic job here. The teams that did the ports to Switch, Wii, PlayStation 3 and 4, etc., they did a fantastic job. This whole game's wonderful, and you really should try it yourself. If Isun has turned you off from the game, I completely understand. I think it's very, very much worth it despite Isun, but I understand if Isun's too much of a turn-off from playing the game yourself. The rest of it's absolutely fantastic, though. And with that, next time, I'll see everyone back here for the retrospective. For the post-mortem, rather. I keep calling it a retrospective. It is a post-mortem. Gotta get that in my head. And then beyond that, I'll see you back in a couple months on June 7th for my next Let's Play. I am very excited about it. Have a wonderful day.